What's up, traders, and welcome to a market analysis video. We're going to go ahead and cover the technicals as well as the fundamentals of gold. And so to get this started, let's actually go ahead and do a quick review of last week, because last week was pretty important. We had FOMC, and if you guys remember, some of you don't know, the Federal Reserve actually went ahead and cut the rates by 50 basis points, right? And so if you guys have seen the videos that I've posted, we understood that if the Federal Reserve was going to be cutting rates and also maintaining that dovish tone, kind of them talking about the fact that inflation is coming down, kind of like you see here written out, as you can see, then we understood that fundamentally this can keep dollar weaker as well as gold stronger. So we're going to take a look at gold now. You're going to see why it makes sense that it has continued towards the upside. Anything, let me see here. Yeah, so basically last week was mainly, the focus was mainly on that FOMC. Again, they did end up doing those rate cuts, and then gold did continue towards the upside. Now, to look out for some data reports to look out for this week, we do have some US GDP and PCE data to look out for on Thursday as well as on Friday. We have Mr. Powell speaking on, I believe it's Thursday. So it's going to be later on this week. So we don't have too many data reports to be worried about. Like for tomorrow, we can take a look at the calendar really quick. I believe we do have some housing figures and so we do have some housing figures and consumer confidence tomorrow at 9 in the morning as well as 10 in the morning. So that's one thing that we're going to be looking out for. But let's actually go ahead and start talking about gold from a technical perspective here. So gold, now we understand the fundamentals. We've talked about the fundamentals before, guys. I'll do a deeper breakdown of that in another video, but for these market analysis video, I mainly want to just cover that information, and then I want to dive into the technicals. I want to see what are some moves that we can actually take advantage with the information that we have at hand. So from a technical perspective, we can see gold has remained very much bullish. It's something that we've talked about in the previous market analysis videos before. Taking a look at the 4-hour here, we start to zoom in. We do have some new resistance zones as well as some new supports kind of climbing into these new all-time highs. And so I do have the zones already marked up. As you can see, we have a 1-hour support. This 1-hour support also lines up with the 4-hour support that you guys just saw. On the 4-hour, this support down here kind of looks like just some wicks, but again, we do have some extra zones. That's why I like to use the 1-hour as well. And then we do have the resistance, basically where all of these wicks are rejecting these candle bodies, and then these multiple wicks as well rejecting that. Now, this analysis should be fairly simple, right? Because we've talked about before that gold has still been fundamentally bullish. And so that's the main idea we're going to look for, right? But a lot of times after such strong moves take place, like we do have here, as you can see, this was the reaction from the Wednesday when the FOMC actually delivered that rate cut. You can see price ended up doing a spike towards the upside, failed to maintain above that, but because from a fundamental standpoint, that information never changed in the sense that the Federal Reserve actually did the rate cut, and they talked about how there is a possibility for more rate cuts. They just need for the data that's going to be released within the next couple of weeks. They just need that data to be in their favor. So we do understand that if the data reports that are coming up are going to fall in line with what the Fed wants to see, which is lower inflation, of course, and if the unemployment, for example, rises, that's going to give them an even stronger signal for them to do those rate cuts. So pay attention to those data reports that you have. But now, speaking about the technicals, like we were talking, after having these very strong, let's take a look at this. We have very strong volume towards the upside, right? Price continuously making higher highs and higher lows. But now, as you can see, we are starting to have a little bit of pushback. There's not really so much impulsive buying taking place. As you can see, we do have, like, for example, price, it's still respecting the structure, right? But you can see we are having a little bit of a slowdown, again, just comparing it to like this sort of price action that we have over here. So with that being said, what am I going to specifically look out for on gold? Taking a look at this 4-hour and the way that we keep rejecting these highs, as well as on the 1-hour, we see price kind of, again, creating this resistance for us, showing us that there is buyers failing to maintain above that. I personally would watch out for some pullbacks, but what I would want to see for price to actually give me some signs that it's going to do pullbacks is, for example, if we can get like some intraday candle closes back below like this 26-24's area, give me some sort of like break and retest type of scenario, we can look out for some pullbacks at least down into this support area. But anything above this zone, it's either gonna see, you're either gonna see price just ranging and staying within this, and possibly we would want to see just price, if there's gonna be any sort of volume picking up on the buyer side, I would want to maintain above this zone. I don't want to be breaking below that, because again, below here we might see some technical pullbacks. At least above here we could generate some liquidity, and if we can get breakouts back into this resistance and possibly back into new all-time highs, then we know that that macro fundamental information that is keeping gold bullish, then we know that that's what's going to be driving price most likely. But again, we got to watch out if price is going to be doing pullbacks just below this zone. I would also look out for pullbacks below this area, but that's only if price is to get here and actually give that breakthrough. But we have to watch out in case price decides to get to this area of support, at least give some reactions to see price getting back up into this area. That's if we're gonna have strong buyers. But again, we do have to look out for those pullbacks just because of the fact that gold is so overvalued at this moment, and we've gotten some failures to really continue towards the upside there. So these are going to be the main things that I'm going to look out for within the next couple of sessions, right? So these are going to be the main ideas that I'm going to be looking out for. I'll just be careful if price is going to be doing some pullbacks, again, below this 26.25, 26.24 area and below 26.14s. You can look out. We can even color code this so that way we can get a little bit more simple with the analysis. Here would be sort of an idea that if we can get rejections like we got over here, like candles getting to this area, but you see bullish candles kind of creating a support and rejecting this zone as it did here, then I would just look out for continued buys. And then of course this is going to be also another buy idea of either price just kind of maintaining above here, breaking back above this resistance, and then showing strong buyers momentum there. Now, other than that, guys, I will be posting some educational content. Probably gonna start talking about some more fundamental information as well as technical information. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. That way you guys can stay up to date on all the information that we talked about. Again, you guys have already seen me multiple times talk about how gold has just been fundamentally bullish. And then you've seen over the days and over the weeks, really, since we started doing these analysis sessions, kind of gold just overall still staying bullish. So we have great things that we talk about here, and we're going to make sure that we can stay consistent with that information. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.